From the wind and rain over at East Midlands and Donington Park for round 2. Round 3 brings us to Norfolk and Snetterton for the Thundersport GB Championships. This show features the Aprilia Super Teens, the Aprilia RRV 450s and of course the Super Twins and Stock Twins. Welcome to GP Racing Dream. So we move from April to May, and look how much the weather has improved in this short space of time. Snetterton can sometimes throw up all sorts of action, and here today we're expecting some more as we bring you GP Racing Dream here. 6 races in total to bring you, so hold on to your hats. We have up on the grid first, as ever, the in-competition Aprilia RRV 450s. This includes the LMB Formula 400s, and we normally get some corking races between these guys. There's Championship leader Cameron Lee, who's doing very well so far this year, number 58. We just saw Sam Wilford, who's returned after missing out at Donington. There's Ross Simpson, number 55, former Super Team. Then number 14 there, Will Hodgson, currently 3rd in the Championship. Number 19 there, Irish rider Aaron Clifford. Danny Booth also to look out for. Danny will be out there with our camera on board. Number 64, currently 2nd overall in the Championship, but he's got a bit of ground to make up from the 3rd row. Away from the lights we go then, and into turn 1, and Sam Wilford with the whole shot ahead of Cameron Lee, then Will Hodgson, and then Aaron Clifford. Wilford missed Donington Park because he was over in the European Junior Cup in Aragon, but now on board KJD Racing Aprilia rider Danny Booth. He's making up some ground here from the 3rd row, and he opts for the outside line. Some nudging going on here. Danny Booth then makes his way around Chapman Curve and onto the back straight, the Bentley straight here at Snetterton. It's the Snetterton 200 circuit layout, by the way, the one that most resembles the old layout, it's fair to say, and certainly my favourite layout. Number 35 it is that leads then Sam Wilford, and there's been a lot of stuff going on off circuit for Sam, and he and his dad off, and we're sending our best wishes to Jodie Wilford. Oh, and there's a rider down. That is number 26, Ashley Critchley, who's gone down at the S's. Just mentioned about Jodie Wilford, she's been a bit ill recently, so we're sending you our best wishes, everyone at Thundersport, hoping for a speedy recovery. So it's been a whirlwind over the last few weeks for Sam Wilford, but he is quick and he's back down to business. He was leading the Championship after round 1, of course, courtesy of missing Donington. He moved down to 4th overall, but this weekend so far going pretty well for the number 35. Wilford it is that leads then from Cameron Lee, the Championship leader, number 58, who just looks to have come out of the blocks really firing on all cylinders after a season last year that just didn't really go to plan, and now he's up the inside of Will Hodgson, one of the most experienced riders in this field, number 14 there, who's currently 3rd overall in the Championship. I would dare to say that Will Hodgson at the moment, we've not quite seen him up onto his full A game just yet this season. There's, I think, number 26, Ashley Critchley's bike just being wheeled off, and that is still Sam Wilford on the IDWE Aprilia that has the advantage from Will Hodgson. Cameron Lee 3rd, then it's Aaron Clifford, the Irish rider, then Danny Booth, the camera that we have on board his bike. He's then up ahead of Will Keynes. There's Lewis Barnes, number 50, who's currently leading the Formula 400 ahead of, at the moment, Chris Gray and Connor Wheeler, but both Wheeler and Gray are fighting well. The relaxed frame then of Sam Wilford, a bit wide on the exit there of Murray's, used to be known as Russell Chicane. Will Hodgson 2nd, Cameron Lee in 3rd, and then Aaron Clifford. We're now on board with Danny Booth, number 64, last year's Nitro Newcomer champion in the Aprilia Super Teens. He pulls out of the slipstream there and down into turn 1. That's Zach Corduroy up ahead of him, and he's just gone a bit wide there into turn 1, but he had to take that route. Quite sure who he's just gone past there, but we'll get a shot of that in a moment. There is number 69, and he's gone down. Number 69 has gone down. There is Keelan Irwin. and he sort of shrugs his shoulder there. He's in the firing line there, so get that bike up and move pretty quickly. That's how light and nimble those 450s are. But Keelan Owen has gone down, having got off to a really good start. Number 35, Sam Wilford. It is with a really big lead so far here in the 450s, up ahead of Cameron Lee, who's the leader of the championship. Then Will Hodgson. There's Zach Corduroy, birthday boy. So happy birthday to Zach, the yellow leathers, number 22, having a great race here. Ross Simpson's also going a lot better this weekend than we've seen him of late. But Cameron Lee here, number 58 from Colville, on the in-competition Aprilia. If he can just keep it together there in second, he will lead this championship no matter what happens. In fact, he's come into this day here today with a 58-point lead overall, so no matter what happens today, he will leave here as championship leader. He's there in second, Will Hodgson in third. Then it's Danny Booth. Danny Booth then moves up into third place now. Great move from the KJD Racing Aprilia rider. Just mentioned, as we see, we're on board with Danny now into Montreal. It's going slightly wide there into Montreal, but he's just about held off any competition around Chapman Curve and onto the Bentley Straight. One of Danny's teammates, Curtis Drew, we sent him all the best as well. He was involved in a nasty, unique accident, shall we say, yesterday here at Snetterton as Danny Booth gets overtaken. So best wishes to Curtis. In fact, Danny Booth lost a couple of places there, and that's Will Hodgson that's just taking charge. Who else is that? Is that Will Keynes also in the mix as well? In fact, that's another place that KJD rider Danny Booth has just lost. He's just lost 3 places in the space of half a lap as we go around the bomb hole. There's Cameron Lee. So it was in fact Aaron Clifford, sorry, that had gone past, not Will Keynes. Aaron Clifford, the Irish rider. Now I know that Aaron and his family have been gutted by the news that Irish motorcycle journalist Aidan Lynham sadly passed away. His life was taken away just day before this event, and he'd done a lot of help for a lot of Irish riders. There's a lot of Irish riders that are heartbroken at the news that Aidan has passed away. He raised almost 1.6 million euro for Down syndrome and sadly lost his life just yesterday, just before this event. So our thoughts with Aidan's family and friends, and I know it's affected a lot of the Irish riders in this paddock, so they're riding with a dark cloud over their heads this weekend. But Aaron Clifford certainly maybe riding in memory of Aidan at the moment and doing a good job so far. He's on for a podium. On board again with Danny Booth as he goes past birthday boy Zach Corduroy here, or looks to, number 22 there, not quite close enough this time. Zach Corduroy is, of course, you may remember, not last year, the year before, 2013, Aprilia Super Team champion. Danny Booth, last year's Aprilia Super Team Nitro Newcomer champion, and we will see the latest talent from the Aprilia Super Teams coming up after this race and after the break. This is the battle though for third place at the moment. Aaron Clifford, number 19, up ahead of Will Hodgson, then Will Keynes, then Zach Corduroy, then Danny Booth. Will Keynes, number 7 in that group. Across the line we go, the 3 abreast across the finish line. Out front it's still Sam Wilford and Cameron Lee that are in charge. Will Hodgson then moves up into third place, up ahead of Will Keynes and Zach Corduroy. There's nothing to split these 450s, but this is, you might be looking at this thinking, wow, what's going on here? But this is normal for the 450s. This is what we're used to seeing. Aaron Clifford then has got a bit of work to do just behind Zach Corduroy. There's Danny Booth. We're just on board with him a moment ago on the back straight. He's been up as far as third, and now he's dropped down to 5th place. That's Zach Corduroy who's having a wave to Aaron Clifford there on the left. And then they go into the S's. That's a tight line from Aaron Clifford, which might just lose him a bit of time as they flick right. But it's still Hodgson here in third, ahead of Will Keynes. Then 22 is Zach Corduroy. Out in ahead of these guys is still Cameron Lee in second, number 58. Wilford is away with it though. He's lapping in the low 119s. He is the lap record holder already in this class, so he's doing very well. And there's Aaron Clifford hanging it round the outside, and now Will Hodgson looking to go round the outside again into Murray's, and that won't work out. They lose quite a bit of momentum there, and that's allowed everyone else to catch up. Ross Simpson now back in the frame, number 55. The last lap flag is out, and I can tell you that Cameron Lee's gone missing. He is not here, part of this race. So what's happened to the championship leader, Cameron Lee? He's gone off somewhere. Not sure what's happened. So this battle, effectively now, the fight for second and third places, so another podium place available to one of these guys. There is your race leader, Sam Wilford, just calmly going about his business. He's got now a 9-second lead over the rest of the field, so he could cruise home, and whatever points he lost out on at the last round, he's going to make up again. And there's number 9 going down. That's Alex Taylor, just tucking the front end going into Montreal. So easy to do if you're hanging onto the brakes or slightly offline. Sam Wilford just going through the motions then. Now into the bomb hole, just Coram Curves and Murray to deal with. What about second place then? The moment Aaron Clifford's got this one ahead of Will Keynes. There's Zach Corduroy though in 4th place. You've got Will Hodgson and Danny Booth at the moment losing out, along with Ross Simpson. And Matt Rangeley is then at the moment leading the next group further behind. That's the battle for 8th place. So it's going to be Aaron Clifford by the looks of things here, the young Irish rider who on TV day normally doesn't quite put it all together. Likewise for Will Keynes. Well, they have today. Across the line, Wilford it is that takes an easy win, it looks like, here for Sam, really, under the circumstances, and he's made up some points on championship leader Cameron Lee, who's gone missing. And across the line in second place, that is Aaron Clifford, number 19, and Will Keynes is on the podium there ahead of birthday boy Zach Corduroy. It's Will Hodgson that takes 5th place, and Danny Booth, who was on for a podium in the early stages, a couple of tiny errors has cost him in the end. He finishes in 6th place. So the top 3 on the podium then, Sam Wilford in the centre of your pick. On the left, Aaron Clifford. On the right, Will Keynes. And in the Formula 400, it's a win for Barnes ahead of Gray and Thomas Burnett. Third place in the Aprilia 450s at Will Keynes. Will, most of this season you've been very strong on a Saturday, and then TV cameras come out on Sunday. It's not quite happened, but today you're up on the podium. Good result.
Yeah, I'm just so happy to finally do it. It's been a hard weekend. I had a crash on Friday, but yeah, I'm just finally happy to finally get the 3rd place.
And I know you've got a few people to thank as well.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Luke for doing my helmets, Fire System Services, OSX, Ian Newton. I also like to say a get well soon to Jodie. She's not been very well, but thank you. Cheers.
Aaron Clifford, second place. I was just saying to Will, it's one of those situations where Saturday is normally the good day for results, and then TV cameras come out. You've had a similar situation a few times this year, but this weekend it's looking very strong for you.
Yeah, I got a bad start and just left me a lot of work to do, and I fought hard for this. I'd like to dedicate it to one of the guys in Ireland who's helped me out over the last few years. He was unfortunately killed in a road accident, so here's to Aiden.
Winner of that race, Sam Wilford. Sam, you were absent from Donington Park, obviously. You were over in Spain, so you've lost a few points here and there, but you're back to winning ways again here at Snetterton.
Yeah, had a really good race just then. Just again watching my pit board, and I saw the gap open up a bit, and then I think Cameron crashed out, and then that opened the gap up to 9 seconds. So I had to look behind, and yeah, no, but it was a good race. Enjoyed it. So yeah, good.
And anyone to thank at all?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my mum and dad, Jodie, who's in hospital right now. Who would obviously like to be here. Iron Competition, Avon for producing a great trial. Works really well around here, and just everyone who's helped out, Pinning Club for coming up. Yeah, thank you.
Winner of the Formula 400 race there, championship leader Lewis Barnes. It's a sunny day and a really good race result there for you.
Yeah, it was a really good race. I was racing with the 450s most of the race. I mean, yeah, good battles with Tristan and Cameron and Connor. But yeah, it's good start. Well, finally getting back to where I used to be. It's good to be back. Yeah.
Anyone to thank at all?
I'd like to thank my mum and dad, Phil Richards Car Body Repairs, Dales Motorcycles, the Puddle Duck Cafe in Highworth, Steve Liner Motorcycle Repairs, Noah Motor, and Barn Toolage.
Join us again after the break then, and well done to Sam Wilford. We've got the Super Twins and Stock Twins coming up next. Welcome back to Snetterton here for GP Racing Dream. Next up on the grid is the HMT Racing Super Twins, Stock Twins. And further back there we have the Street Fighters as well, just to keep an eye on, and we'll keep you up to date with that. We just saw Brad Peary there on pole position. Sam Wilford we just saw, of course, winning the Aprilia 450s. And he's back out again to face James Folkard. Now, these two guys have been really fighting it out overall in Super Twins. They normally are involved in some proper ding-dongs. There's Dan Taylor. number 26, the reigning Mini Twins champion, and at the moment the Stock Twins championship leader. There's Brad Peary then with a pink helmet on pole position on his day. Very, very difficult to beat. Away from the line we go, down into turn 1, and Peary's surely going to get the whole shot here, or is he? Sam Wilford up the inside of him into turn 1, and Folkard joins in as well. So at the moment it's Wilford, Peary and James Folkard, then Dan Taylor, number 26. Into Montreal we go, and James Folkard, my word, is going in there hot, really runs wide. Brad Peary has got up the inside of Sam Wilford. James Folkard manages to regroup. 1-1-1, just going through your picture there is Aaron Bradley with the sky blue bike and the pink wheels. One of the two of the Street Fighters, I mentioned them earlier. Look out for the likes of Paul Cunvin and Mick Riddle. When we see them, I will point them out. Meanwhile, out front, there you see Sam Wilford, number 1, the reigning Super Twins champion from last year, trying to get past Bradley Peary. Sam Wilford is not out there on a 450, by the way. Like we saw him win his 450 race at the moment. That's a 550 Aprilia, just the same sort of bike as James Folkard is running. Number 25 there is Stuart Shaleski, and he's got the orange bib on, one of the novices from this year. Peary it is that leads, and there is the Stock Twins leader so far, Dan Taylor, in 4th overall. Not quite able to keep up with these guys out front. There is, Aaron Bradley going wide. That's not the fastest line, contrary to popular belief, around Murray's. It's Peary that leads though overall, then it's Sam Wilford. Folkard just lost a couple of tenths on that last lap and not able to get his nose in the mix here with these two. Brad Peary it is then, of course, Brad, who started out in the Super Teens back in 2013, in fact 2012 as a rookie, then 2013 finished as the championship runner-up. And missed the last couple of rounds to Zach Cordaway. And Aaron Bradley, despite, well, he was on the grass earlier, and now he's pushing his bike away completely. And that's the end of this particular race then for Aaron Bradley. Brad Peary it is that has the advantage. It's 2nd place for Sam Wilford, 3rd for Folkard. This is 4th place Dan Taylor, who leads his class. Then it's Charlie Oakland, number 23, up ahead of 60, Greg Madero. And we just saw a moment ago Neil Schofield a part of this battle, but he was running wide into Murray's, and that has cost him 1 or 2 places. Peary now then. Sam Wilford out of the saddle there, and he looks over his shoulder, and that has spread these guys out considerably. Sam Wilford trying to make up some time to catch Brad Peary here, and look at how much time that has cost him as he goes across the line. So Peary then back in control on the Diamond H Racing Kawasaki. And it is Sam Wilford that's just at the moment in 2nd place, the reigning champion, who missed out on the last round and has missed out on some points, so has some catching up to do. Folkard it is in 3rd place. This is, in fact, Folkard is closing up on Sam Wilford here at the moment. Folkard riding the number 11 Scott Racing Aprilia 550. Folkard, we mentioned before, the only rider to have ever won both Aprilia championships. That's the 125's Super Team Championship and the Aprilia RRV 450 Championship that he won a few years back when dusting himself up with the likes of Connor Tagg and Jake Dixon. It's Sam Wilford there though in 2nd place, number 1 ahead of Folkard. Still Dan Taylor leading the Stock Twins ahead of Charlie Oakland and Greg Madero. I can tell you that it's Paul Cunvin, number 81, that leads on the Street Fighter, our Royal Air Force Motorsports Association rider. He's up ahead of fellow RAF rider Mick Riddle, number 44. This is Dan Taylor, number 26, on the Direct Commercials Suzuki. Just the moment having a bit of a lonely race, actually, in 4th place. There's no one to fight with there at the moment, but I'm sure he won't mind. Brad Peary it is then. And he almost ran into the back there. Blimey, that went a bit pear-shaped. He's trying to make his way past Alfred Weaver, and it just didn't quite happen now. This gap, look at it, it's really tight between Sam Wilford and James Folkard for 2nd and 3rd place. James Folkard it is that leads the championship overall, number 11, ahead of Dan Taylor, who's in 4th, and then Sam Wilford. There is number 45. That's Andrew Castle, one of our Street Fighter runners, just being passed by Dan Taylor. Andrew Castle at the moment just outside the podiums in the Street Fighters. He's behind Rob Pragnell. This is your race leader though, Brad Peary, just trying to find his way past these tail enders. and then into Coram Curves. He's got a huge lead. There's Paul Cunvin, number 81, the Royal Air Force Motorsports Association rider from Kings Lynn, not too far away from where we are at the moment. And this is the battle for second overall. Number 1, Sam Wilford on the IDWE Racing Aprilia. And then James Folkard now in the slipstream, trying to find a way past his off-circuit pal. Just up ahead, they've got a bit of traffic that includes Giles Day. And now into Montreal. They just go underneath him. There's Rob Pragnell in the background, number 98. He's just been lapped by Dan Taylor, but he's on for third in the Street Fighters. Taylor still leading the Stock Twins ahead of Charlie Oakland and Greg Medeiros, who are locked in a battle. Now, that's Brad Peary. Brad Peary putting his arms up. Doesn't look like he's got any scuffs to the levers, so I'm just wondering whether the shrug of the arms is because the bike's giving up the ghost there. Not 100% sure, but we'll get confirmation of that. So that means this is the battle for the win. Oh! Folkard there bumps a back marker wide, and well, that could have been curtains for him as well, but luckily the tail end stays back up on the bike. This is the fight for the outright win then. Folkard now with Sam Wilford, because Brad Peary has pulled out of this race, and we've got confirmation on the screens here. It is a technical problem. Last lap flag is out, and they are side by side across the line, Folkard and Wilford. We saw this battle developing in Brands Hatch, and it continues, and I think it's set to continue throughout the year. Around Ritchie's we go, and now into Montreal corner as Wilford with the defensive line, and Folkard says, okie doke, I'll go around the outside of you then. And that's a brilliant move from the rider from Liverpool, and he caught Sam Wilford napping a bit there, who was trying to block his path, and ultimately here he's lost a lot of time because of that. James Folkard with an excellent move. That's Charlie Oakland and Greg Medeiros fighting for second and third places in the Stock Twins. Dan Taylor looks to have his hands on the win for that one. But there's Paul Cunvin, currently 6th overall in the field. Bearing in mind he started quite a long time after the rest of them, and that's a good effort from Paul. He leads the Street Fighters. This is the battle for the outright win though, and that move over at Montreal has decided the race. James Folkard, well done sir, what a move that was. And he takes the checkered flag to win race 1 here at Snetterton ahead of Sam Wilford. It could have been a different story had Brad Peary not pulled out of this one, but as it is, Folkard will take the 25 points and the extended championship lead there. He looks behind to see Sam Wilford, and you can see they were pretty much photo finish on the lap before. Folkard it is with the win ahead of Wilford. Dan Taylor wins the Stock Twins, finishing 3rd overall. Then it's Charlie Oakland, Greg Medeiros, and Paul Cunvin wins the Street Fighters. There's Folkard, Wilford and Dan Harrison in the Super Twins. In the Stock Twins, it's Dan Taylor ahead of Charlie Oakland and Greg Medeiros. And in the Street Fighters, Paul Cunvin the winner from Mick Riddle, Rob Pragnell. Paul Cunvin winner here. It's a bit tricky out there, a mix of machinery, but so far this weekend, Mick Riddle's not been able to quite chase you down.
No, not quite. I've given him the best chance possible because my bike's been absolutely terrible this weekend. My quick shifter's completely died, my throttle cables are destroyed from the crash at Donington, I've had my Öhlins fork started leaking, so I've had to put road suspension back in, so now is as good a chance as any for Mick, but yeah, he's had a bit of bad luck himself. But it was more enjoyable than I thought it would be coming through the Twins. Got to slipstream a few down the straight, that was alright. But yeah, it was quite an enjoyable race. It's red hot, I'm definitely sunburnt now, so go back and apply more suntan lotion. But yeah, I'd like to thank everyone in Team RAF, the RAF Motorsport Association, Pitty's Custom Vinyls, and my mum for chipping in for my tyres because I'm broke. Yeah, thank you.
Winner of the Stock Twins race there, Dan Taylor, defending champion. I know it's been tough for you over the last week or so, and questionable as to whether you were going to be racing here, but you are, and you're on the top step.
That's it. Well, to be fair, yeah, Snetterton's never been brilliant for me. It's the first time I've actually won here this weekend. Yeah, this week's been one of them tough weeks, but partner, she's getting there, so I'll be well. She's down there with me today. She's the one that said, yeah, let's go racing. So that race was tough on my own, most of it, just trying to keep the laps consistent. So I mean, the front runners, they was gone. Couldn't keep up with those, so I mean, I won class. Job's good.
Anyone else to thank?
I have, yeah. Mrs. for letting me come. Yeah, I've got my sponsors, Direct Commercials, who do the race entry fees for me. Shane Brocklehurst Transport, he helps me financially, keeping the bike running. North Links Components, issues tyres for me. Sparklight Racing, because of the crash at Donington, I kind of went through my leathers, so thanks for getting these done quick for me. Thank you very much. And obviously, again, my missus, my old team, my dad, Lee, the Schofields, they're all fantastic. Thank you very much.
Winner of the Super Twins race, outright, James Folkard. James, good to have you back on the top step. You've always enjoyed some good dices with Sam Wilford over the time. Brad Peary went missing though. Did you see anything of that?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I didn't even realise he'd gone down or if he had a bike problem or whatever. So I thought we were battling for second and third when I was able to finally catch Sam up. So no, it was a hard race, that, to be honest. Sam's riding really well. With his weight, I think he's just got a little bit down the straight, on me. So no, I really enjoyed it. It was fantastic, and hopefully it looked good on the telly.
I know that you're working hard to get yourself here anyway, but you've got a few other people to thank also.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Trevor Scott, who runs our race team, he's got a 450 and a Super Team bike out as well. You want to see them boys work. Honestly, Ivan and Gary are just working unbelievably. They're doing an absolute fantastic job. They're sponsored by the Oasis Bar, which is a fantastic gaff to be in over in Ireland, So no, it's fantastic, and a big thank you to Thundersport, because I've not thanked them yet, believe it or not. So big thanks to Thundersport, all the marshals, medics, everybody who make it happen. Fantastic.
Well, join us for some fantastic action after the break. It'll be time for Aprilia Super Teens Race 1. The Aprilia Super Teens. There's never been a class that's more famous for creating superstars in motorcycle racing. TJ Toms there on pole position alongside rookie for this season, Max Cook. And then number 56, another rookie, Charlie Atkins. In fact, we'd probably spend less time talking about the riders that are not rookies in this particular field, because there are just two of them. TJ Toms, number 7, and Freddie Crane, number 81 on the left of your picture there, are the only riders that took part in this championship last year. The rest are all novices for the 2015 season. This is a class for riders aged 12 to 18, and away from the line we go. And that was a rocket start from somebody on the second row. It's number 55, Jack Scott. What a start for him. But it will be TJ Toms with the whole shot ahead of Max Cook. Then number 55, Jack Scott, into third place. Championship coming into this weekend, Freddie Crane was leading overall, number 81, but bumped into his dad just before the start of this race. We'll just see them through Montreal first, because anything can happen here. They're all going side by side. In fact, that's the neatest we've seen so far, and it comes from the teeny box. There is number 98 further back, Brian Moffat. Just going back to what I was saying about Freddie Crane, bumped into his dad before the start of this race. They're having all sorts of problems with the running of their Aprilia. Of course, these are two-stroke machines. They can be a little temperamental at times, and apparently they've had the thing in bits. They've put it back together again. It's just not running quite right, and they're not really sure why. So Freddie's out there just for damage limitation. Of course, he's a championship leader. There he is, trying to get as many points as physically possible for this weekend. There's number 97, and that is Lawrence Edgley from Bolney on the Team Edge Racing Aprilia. But out front, it's TJ Toms, number 7 from Bridgewater on the SMW Racing Aprilia. Now, we know that this is TJ's last appearance in the Aprilia Super Teams for this weekend. He's been offered a ride elsewhere. Oh, and there's someone going straight on, number 46, Harry Phillips. Has no choice but to take to the grass, the rider from Leicester on the Eco Roof Aprilia, and he's lost quite a bit of ground as a result of that. So yes, TJ Toms in his last outing on that Aprilia, looking to go out with a bang here. Entered the weekend 3rd overall in the championship, but after an excellent day at the office here yesterday at Snetterton, he's in with a chance of leaving the championship as the top man overall. Or the top young man overall, should we say. TJ it is then that has the advantage over 56, Charlie Atkins, who literally is pint-sized. Charlie from Goole, who had an excellent time out at Donington Park in our last round in April. Championship follows us around. It's been a part of the Thundersport GB series since 2008. Before then, of course, it's been going for some years, famous for creating stars such as Casey Stoner, Cal Crutchlow, Chaz Davies, the Lowe's twins, and much more. It's just a fantastic class, and this year it looks like we've got some close racing once more, having gone through a period, I suppose, over the last few years of having runaway winners with the likes of Rory Skinner, Zach Corduroy, and I suppose you could probably, well, I say Zach Corduroy, that was a close championship. Lewis Rollo, certainly the year before that, was absolute domination. The Flying Scotsman. There is TJ Toms, though, that leads from number 30 now. KJD Racing's Max Cook from Swindon. And the interesting thing about these youngsters out on circuit is they all know each other before they came into this championship anyway, because they've been racing each other on Metra kits and in mini moto right from the ages of 5, 6 and 7. So they're quite familiar with each other in terms of racing, which is probably why we don't see them actually knocking each other off that often. There's a lot of respect as we just see number 23 going through there, George Knight of Brighton, who is already looking like he's outgrowing that Aprilia. There's number 96, Rhys Irwin, brother of Keelan Irwin, that we saw going down in the Aprilia 450s earlier on. Rhys is from Letterkenny, the Republic of Ireland, on the Scott Racing Aprilia. In fact, he's got a 10-second jump start penalty as Rhys, so he's got a bit of time to make up. But out front, in this race at the moment, it is TJ Toms, number 7, ahead of Max Cook, who's got that sort of Leon Haslam style, the chicken legs going on as he goes down the gears into Murray's corner. It's something that you see Leon Haslam even do these days. Across the line, TJ Toms and Max Cook. Then it's a tiniest gap back to Charlie Atkins in 3rd. They're all lapping in the low 131s at the moment. They're not quite on lap record pace, but they're enjoying a decent race so far. Into Montreal we go. TJ Toms has had the lead from the start, but not any longer. Squeezing through there, Max Cook, and just pushing TJ Toms slightly wide, and that might just allow number 56, Charlie Atkins, back into the picture there in 3rd place. Further back, here is George Knight, number 23. There is number 99, Chris Moffat. Ahead of these guys is Freddie Crane and Connor Thompson. They're currently fighting for 4th and 5th place. So it is number 30, Max Cook, that has this advantage. Max, who was so strong at the opening round at Brands Hatch and picked up a few points over at Donington, is 2nd overall in the championship, but might just find himself at the top of the standings if he can have a couple of good results here today. Number 55 we just saw there, Jack Scott. Freddie Crane in the mix there also, but this is the battle for the lead. Max Cook it is that leads on the KJD Racing Aprilia ahead of TJ Toms on the SMW Racing Aprilia. TJ easy to spot. He's the only one of this group with yellow wheels, and he hasn't got an orange bib on. It's not his first full season in the Aprilia Super Teams, and now he looks to go up the inside. And of all the riders normally that take part in their 2nd full season of racing in the Aprilia Super Teams, normally you see quite a significant rise in height. Not with TJ Toms, he's still stayed pretty small. There's Freddie Crane then, making some ground up here, trying to make the most of a bike that's not quite running properly. And there is George Knight and number 99, Chris Moffat. In the background, Harry Phillips, of course. He went off on the grass over at Murray's earlier on in this race as well, but they are inside the top 10, so some big points on offer. There is 24, Max Lofthouse, another newcomer. Max hailing from Burnley in the northwest of the country. TJ Toms it is that leads though. He's got himself back past Max Cook, but now look who's joined in. Number 56 there, Charlie Atkins, much closer than he was earlier on, and in fact going around the outside now of Max Cook, and he's got the inside line for Murray's. Nicely done there from number 56. These two rookies look like they might just be embroiled in some battle for the rest of this season, with TJ moving on. Into the final chicane we go, and there's Connor Thompson, number 9, from Hawley on the CRT Racing Aprilia, and there is number 55, Jack Scott from Luton on the JJ Racing Aprilia. Last lap flag out then, and across the line we go. Battles all the way through the field. This is your race leader, TJ Toms. Then it's Max Cook, number 30, who's got back past number 56, Charlie Atkins. That obviously happened over towards Richie's corner. It's all about slipstream here, and look at the number 56 there of Charlie Atkins, looking to try and get back past Max Cook into Brundle corner. This is 55, Jack Scott and Freddie Crane, the championship leader coming into this weekend, going onto the Bentley straight. And you can hear that there's something maybe not quite right with that Aprilia at the moment, but this is the fight for the win overall. TJ Toms is coming under threat here. This lead that he's got is only by about a tenth. Into the bomb hole, he's going to have to get Corum's absolutely right, because Charlie Atkins showed how much speed he's got around there. Further back is Connor Thompson, there's Freddie Crane, and that is number 55 Jack Scott. These guys are all fighting for 4th overall, but onto the start finish straight, and look at that, TJ Thompson's lost out. He's going to have to get in the slipstream. Charlie Atkins is there as well. The checkered flag is out, and this could be a photo finish. TJ Thompson's pulled out of the slipstream right at the perfect moment and does take the race win here for race 1 at Snetterton. Excellent stuff there from TJ. A few questions asked of him there going on to the centre straight, but he answered them by pulling out of the slipstream and winning this race by a tenth of a second. Charlie Atkins 3rd, just a quarter of a second behind TJ, the overall winner. Max Cook obviously second in between them. Connor Thompson was finishing in 4th. Overall then, Toms, Cook and Atkins the top 3, and in the newcomers it's Cook, Atkins and Connor Thompson.
Up on the podium again here at Snetterton, Connor Thompson. Connor, you're not far away from this leading group, but you've got another trophy here for your efforts this weekend. You must be very happy.
Yeah, happy with this. Had some troubles with the bike yesterday, sorted them out for today. So yeah, good race.
Anyone to thank at all?
I'd like to thank P&H Motorcycles, Pouceline Oils, Mark Christie at Christie Glass, my dad, my sister, Mum, Chris, and everyone else who helps me and supports me. Dunlop Aprilia Super Teens.
Well done. We'll move on now to Charlie Atkins. Charlie, you stormed onto the scene at Donington Park. You've picked up a lot of points, and now it's very close at the top of the championship. But some great racing there with Max and TJ.
Yeah, it was a great race. Like the first race, didn't go according to plan, but that one it went a lot better for me.
Anyone to thank at all?
Yeah. CSM Designs, Mini GP UK, my mum, my dad, especially my dad, he's done so much for me. Mummy Composites, Scratch and Dent, and Aprilia Dunlop from Scott.
Well done to you. We'll now move on to Max Cook. Max, like I was saying to Charlie, you've been involved in some fantastic racing over the weekend here with TJ, of course, and we know TJ's moving on, but the championship's getting quite close.
Yeah, definitely. Going out, TJ's leaving now, so it's going to be good racing all throughout the season with Charlie, Connor and Jack Scott as well. So it's going to be good.
You got any sponsors, family, friends to thank?
I need to say a big thank you to my mum and dad, family, friends, KJD Racing, 100% Suspension, Fab Racing, who I didn't say thank you to last time, and Gloucester Bike Specialist. I know I'm going to forget them now, but King's Motorcycle Racing, Plum Surf, Hull Beach Motor Tyres, Thundersport Aprilia, and in competition.
Well done to you, Max. And now we move on to race winner and championship leader, TJ Toms. Now we know that you're moving on, but I tell you what, this is a good way to say goodbye. You've picked up a fantastic win here, and you're leading the championship.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to come and leave on a high, so we could go away with something in the books to say that we didn't just leave like at the back. So we just wanted to go out on a high. So yeah, it's been a great weekend.
Well done to TJ. His race 2 coming up later, but after the break, it's the RRV 450s and the Formula 400s. Welcome back to Snetterton in Norfolk. Time for race 2 for the Aprilia RRV 450s. Earlier on we saw this man here, Sam Wilford, number 35, make up some points on championship leader Cameron Lee. Cameron went missing. Can confirm, we saw him going missing, that he did go down somewhere around the S's in race 1 in the latter stages, so no points for him. There's Ross Simpson, who's on the JDF Racing Aprilia 450. Of course, John Davis running those teams, and has got quite a success rate in Aprilia championships over the years. There's Cameron Lee nearest to us with the red helmet on. Championship leader will want to make up for what happened earlier on the TV cameras rolling. Birthday boy Zach Corduroy with the yellow leathers. Easy to spot him out, number 22. And the other riders that were on the podium in race 1, number 19, the Irish rider Aaron Clifford, and number 7, Will Keynes. Into turn 1 we go. Wilford with the whole shot. Will Hodgson up into 3rd or 4th place. That's Cameron Lee in 2nd. Hodgson 4th. Keynes in 3rd. Then it's Aaron Clifford. Zach Corduroy a bit further back, then Keelan Irwin. There's Danny Boo. We've got the onboard camera with him, number 64. Maybe not a circuit that he's faring so well at here, although I do recall he did very well at Cadwell, so he'll be looking forward to Cadwell coming up next for the Thundersport GB Championships. Into Brundle we go, then flick right for Nelson. Be careful of the curb on the exit. It's Sam Wilford that leads from Cameron Lee and Will Keynes. As I mentioned before, no matter what happens here today for Cameron Lee, he will leave as the championship leader, but having lost out in race 1, he'll want some points on the board here in race 2, just so that his championship lead is a little larger than it possibly could be. Number 35 there, Sam Wilford, just a bit wide on the exit there of Murray's Corner. There's Lewis Barnes, number 50, leading the Formula 400, and then a couple of places back you see 2nd place Chris Gray, number 99. In between them we've got Sam Cox, Cameron Tenzing Jenkins. Sam Cox, by the way, nice to have him back in the paddock, number 54. From Malden on the in-competition Aprilia, and I'm sure once he gets to grips with that 450 again, we'll see him fighting towards the front end. There's Aaron Clifford going really wide, and then Ross Simpson, number 55, getting close and personal with former super team rival Zach Corduroy, and now he pulls up alongside Aaron Clifford to try and get an advantage there. Out front, is number 35, Sam Wilford, that has this advantage just from Cameron Lee and then Will Keynes. Will from West Wickham on the Fire System Services Aprilia, having one of his better weekends here, number 7, soon to turn 21 years of age in a few days' time. Around Coram Curve we go, and Wilford so far untroubled out front. Yes, Sam has been racing in the European Junior Cup this year as well, following the World Superbike Championship around. Such a busy schedule, that one. There's only one clash this year, and that was, of course, Aragon, which clashed with Donington last time out with Thundersport. For the remainder of the season, there are no more World Superbike clashes, so in theory, Sam should be ready to race at every other round and try and fight for this championship and his Super Twins title that he picked up last year. There's number 5, Tristan Finocchiaro, just up with Lewis Barnes, the leader of the Formula 400 race. This is further back in the 450s. This is the battle for 3rd place overall, no, 4th place overall, isn't it? It's Ross Simpson, Zach Corduroy, Will Hodgson, etc. Matt Rangeley's having a slightly better outing as well. He's up there in the mix, just not quite able to get himself properly in the picture for the fights here. But this is the battle then for 3rd place, 4th place as it stands. I'll get it right in a moment. Will Hodgson, Ross Simpson, this is the top 3 overall. Sam Wilford going into Murray's. Up ahead there of Will Keynes, who's gone up ahead now of Cameron Lee. So Will Keynes looking now to go one better than the race earlier. He was finished in 3rd place. This is the battle for the 400s. You see there the orange, white and black bike, number 50 of Lewis Barnes. He's just ahead of rival number 99 Chris Gray. These two young riders enjoying some decent battles this year with the 450s. It's not a circuit so far that fares so well for the 400 bikes against these 450s, but they're embroiled in a decent battle nonetheless. They're just chasing there Tristan Finocchiaro, Connor Wheeler and Alex Platt are also part of that group. This is the fight for the lead though. Wilford from Will Keynes into Nelson, this right-hander, and then a short stretch up towards the bomb hole. You have to get the line dead right into the bomb hole. If you get the line right, you will just go into a dip, and then you can put the power on nicely. Go slightly wide there, and it goes off camber, and then all of a sudden you can be in all sorts of trouble on the grass and potentially low siding. Around Coram Curve, which goes on forever, you're on your knee all the way round there, and then it used to be obviously braking heavily for the Russell chicane. Now you're on your knee for even longer before you tip left into Murray's. Now then, across the line, 35 goes Sam Wilford. That's your top three, with Will Keynes in second, Cameron Lee in third, and in fourth place now Ross Simpson, number 55, or he was, and he loses 2 places in one. Will Hodgson goes up the inside of Aaron Clifford, who'd already decided to go up the inside of Ross Simpson. This is the fight at the front. Wilford already through there. Then Cameron Lee is back up into second now, past Will Keynes. So the championship leader here now on 20 points if he stays where he is. There's Zach Corduroy with the yellow leathers, getting himself into the slipstream of Aaron Clifford. And then there we've got Ross Simpson, a part of that group also. No one quite able to cope with the out-and-out pace shown by Sam Wilford out front here. He's not putting a foot wrong so far. The IDWE sponsored rider into the bomb hole and now up towards Coram Corner. Going to try and make that one turn. Cameron Lee looking nice and stylish through there in third place, but the group in for fourth are actually catching now. There is Will Keynes in second, up ahead of Cameron Lee. These two keep on changing places. And now look at Aaron Clifford, number 19. He really has closed down that gap. And so we could have a proper battle on our hands as we enter the final lap. Sam Wilford here has dropped a lot of them. Once again, he could cruise home to take the win, but this is the battle for second outright. Will Keynes so far has it from Cameron Lee, and they have company. Aaron Clifford now then in fourth place, and you can just see from his body language that he smells a podium. Here we're on board with Danny Booth, who's not having his greatest races, and he's going to have to go wide there because he almost ran into the back of, I'm not sure, is that Matty Rangeley, I think, just up ahead of him? Yeah, I think it is. Number 93, but he goes back past him again into Montreal. These guys at the moment in 7th and 8th place. You can see the gap up ahead. There isn't, well, it's too big to even see the leading 5-6 riders at the moment. Matt Rangeley goes back past him again, so some points on offer now then. There's Sam Wilford, the race leader. Got a bit of traffic to deal with here on this final lap, but if he's clever enough, he shouldn't let that affect him. Neatly done underneath them. There's Cameron Lee, is that in second place as they go around Coram Curve for the final time. This is your race winner ultimately. Nicely done from Sam, and that's it. Onto the start finish straight. Now in the background, oh, there's Cameron Lee and Aaron Clifford that have gone down into Murray's Corner. The championship leader will score nil point on TV day. Across the line for Wilford, that's 25 points for him. He will dramatically close down things in the championship. In second place then is Will Keynes, and Ross Simpson is onto the podium there as well. Zach Corduroy fourth, Will Hodgson fifth, and Matt Rangeley in sixth. Drama then here in the Aprilia RRV 450s. I can tell you that across the line, the 400s, it was Lewis Barnes that won, but this is the top three in the 450s, Wilford, Keynes and Simpson, and then it's Lewis Barnes, Chris Gray and Thomas Burnett, the top three in the Formula 400. So the championship then, 4 points in it, going into Cadwell Park. Cameron Lee just ahead then of Wilford, then it's Ross Simpson, Danny Booth, Will Hodgson and William Keynes, and in the Formula 400s it is Lewis Barnes that remains in control so far, ahead of Chris Gray, Richie Canole in third ahead of Thomas Burnett, Chris Burridge and Luca Taglio.
Third place in the RRV 450 race, Ross Simpson. Ross, it's been a while since we've seen you on TV day on the podium. You've been up there fighting some great battles and a really solid third place.
Yeah, really good. Had a good battle the whole race. Unfortunately this year so far my Sunday races haven't been as good as Saturday, but yeah, I'm looking forward to what this year can bring now.
You got anyone to thank at all?
I'd just like to thank all my sponsors, my mum and dad and all my family for supporting me. Thank you. Thanks.
Move on to second place now, Will Keynes. Will, 2 podiums in a day on a Sunday. Now that's breaking the trend a little bit.
Yeah, it was a bit manic going into the last corner with Aaron and Cameron going down. I was almost tucked, but luckily I stayed on. But I'm so happy to get a second and a third place today.
Sam, it's the double win for you today. Massive bunch of points that you've taken there. Of course, with Cameron Lee going out again, it means you're only 4 points behind now, I believe, if my maths is right. So a really good day for you.
Yeah, definitely. We done what we had to do today, and obviously it didn't hurt the championship, and yeah, really happy with the result.
Well done to Sam then, full house for him so far. Join us again after the break for race 2. It's the Super Twins, Stock Twins and Street Fighters. welcome back to Snetterton in Norfolk. It's round 3 of the Thundersport GP Championships for 2015, and now on the grid we have the HMT Racing Super Twins, Stock Twins and Street Fighters. Brad Peary there revving his engine, hoping that he won't run into any mechanical problems. That was a mechanical problem that put him out of race 1, so he'll try and get himself up there. He was leading by quite a way in race 1 up until that happened. Sam Wilford and James Folkard were then left fighting away. James Folkard there on the red, white and green bike, number 11, and then Sam Wilford on the grey, black and green Aprilia 450, number 1, the reigning champion. Then further back there you see the red, white and yellow machine, number 26 of Dan Taylor, leading the Stock Twins overall, last year's champion, and further back the Street Fighters as well. We'll keep an eye on them throughout the race. Paul Cumbin, number 81, the winner earlier on, ahead of Mick Riddle and Rob Bragnall. Good start there then for James Folkard. Number 11 getting himself up ahead of Brad Peary. He went wide in race 1, but not so this time. We see also there a good start for Robert Mack on the Kawasaki. One of our Super Twin riders has come over from the Derby Phoenix. There's Aaron Bradley, number 111, who had a disastrous time in race 1. He went wide and on the grass at Murray's and then ended up pulling out of the race altogether. It's Brad Peary though that's gone back past James Folkard and now leads again as we go into Nelson Corner here. James Folkard tucked up right behind him. Then there's the reigning champ Sam Wilford, and then Dan Taylor, and already a big gap back to Greg Medeiros and Robert Mack. Then it's also Neil Schofield in there. Teo Papadopoulos has got off to a decent start. Number 27 there is Charlie Sadler. So a number of riders to keep our eyes out for. But at the front, it's Brad Peary up ahead of James Folkard. Then we have Sam Wilford and Dan Taylor. They're just going over a bit of cement dust there from a previous race earlier in the day. Greg Medeiros, then Robert Mack. There's Neil Schofield, number 19. Up ahead of number 12, Luke Mamet, who's actually over from Mauritius. That's a bit of a trek, isn't it? I'm pretty sure he doesn't live in Mauritius at the moment, but if he does, and he's travelling every weekend, and well done that man. That's some air miles for you. Number 797, Brad Peary it is that leads this race from James Folkard, number 11. Folkard, championship leader, and he extended that championship lead also courtesy of Brad going out earlier on. We see once more bike number 25, Stuart Shipkeski, and a number of other rookies out there as well. There's Paul Cumbin, number 81, just flying through on his Street Fighter machine. He currently leads that battle from Mick Riddle. So the top 3 are Peary, Folkard, and then Wilford, you just saw there. Wilford not quite on the money here at the moment to catch up with Folkard. Then a gap, another lonely race for poor Dan Taylor there, number 26. But no one so far can get on terms with Bradley Peary from Kendal on the Diamond H Racing Kawasaki. I wonder what happened to his... Oh! Now I was about to say, well, I wonder what happened to his bike. Maybe it's the same thing as what's happened here. His bike's given up the ghost here, and it's another mechanical problem for Peary, and it's going to be 0 points for Brad. But what a shame for him. He was leading again, and that means Folkard now takes the lead. Sam Wilford then in second place. So Brad Peary, having been in winning positions both times, that's 50 points down the drain for him. Folkard then with a chance here to extend his championship lead yet again as he goes around Montreal Corner. That's about a 2-second lead he has over Sam Wilford, number 1. So that now promotes Dan Taylor up to 3rd overall, the Stock Twins leader. Further back we have in the Stock Twins also Greg Medeiros currently up ahead. Now I'm looking down the grid for Charlie Oakland. Now where is Charlie Oakland? She doesn't seem to be out there at the moment, so I'm not sure what's happened there. Number 11, James Folkard it is that has this lead from Sam Wilford. Sam Wilford, well, that last lap was a bit quicker though. There's Aaron Bradley, number 111, the rider from Nottingham and the Fleet Care Paint Suzuki, the blue bike with the pink wheels. Onto the start-finish straight we go. So both of these guys would have been able to see what happened. There's Ian Wilford waving Sam on and saying get a move on. I'm pretty sure Ian, he's doing his best as it is, unless Sam has just decided to say, well, if Dad says I should go quicker, then maybe I should pull the pin around about now. So let's keep an eye on Sam Wilford's lap times as they come through. A bit of traffic there. That was number 45, Andy Castle there, just putting a move on with our Royal Air Force Motorsport Association riders. Sam Wilford maybe sniffs the victory here as he goes past number 45. These two are pretty 550 riders going well. There's number 26, Dan Taylor. To say he's having a lonely race is a bit of an understatement at the moment. He's a good 20 seconds behind those guys, and there's not many people close behind him either at the moment. It is, funnily enough, Paul Cunvin making up a lot of time on the Street Fighter bike. You've also got Greg Madero there, Mick Riddle as well. Max Dixon went out on the opening lap. I didn't quite see what happened there, as we see here, number 111 Aaron Bradley up ahead of number 12 Luke Mamet, and who's got the orange bib on, and then it is Neil Schofield there, number 19, Neil from Barnsley, on the Suzuki 650. Pit boards out then for Folkard and Sam Wilford, and that lap time from Sam was a 1:17.9, and that was the quickest lap of the race, a good 3 or 4 tenths quicker than James Folkard, so he can smell a victory ahead of his old mate. He's got a bit of catching to do. This is Dan Taylor in 3rd overall, leading the Stock Twins, and so far so good for him in the championship. There's number 123 Andrew Pugh from Bury St Edmunds on the That'll Do Racing Honda. That sounds like some sort of a horse race. That'll Do coming through into turn 1. There's Paul Cunvin, number 81, leading the Street Fighters. The rider from Kings Lynn, he won't have far to travel home, and well, he'll have some trophies to put in his cabinet when he gets there. There's Dan Taylor going past Paul Cunvin, and this is a brilliant battle actually going on between a few of the Stock Twins. This is number 12 Luke Mamet going up ahead of Aaron Bradley. Neil Schofield there just monitoring the situation on the Sky Blue machine just behind. Now then, number 27 there, that's Charlie Sadler. She's about to get lapped by race leader James Folkard, who decides to go up the inside of Giles Day around the outside of Charlie, and that might just help out Sam Wilford in 2nd place. Across the line we go. There's James, there's Sam. It is a lot closer across the line there, and that was half a second made up on that lap from Sam Wilford, and now we don't need to read the actual distances between, because you can see for yourself they are just right behind each other. There's number 26 going through, Dan Taylor. Number 90 there is Lee Eubank. He's about to get lapped by Paul Cunvin here, who still leads the Street Fighters. Mick Riddle, by the way, 2nd in the Street Fighters, and then it's a battle between Rob Pragnell and Andy Castle for the remaining podium place in that. No one's going to touch Dan Taylor here this weekend, and at the moment it doesn't look like anyone's going to touch him this season. Cunvin here then, still leading the way in the Street Fighters, now finally getting his way past Lee Eubank on the Suzuki, lapping him. Out front though, look at the gap, look how much it's come down. James Folkard was in control of this a while ago. He runs slightly wide on the Exeter Murrays there as well, and Sam Wilford really can smell this win. The last lap flag is out. It's now or never, Sam. As we go into turn 1, the reigning champion fancies a chance on the top step here. Around and now in towards Montreal. This is one big chance for an overtaking manoeuvre, but Sam has decided to stay put. Maybe he'll just concentrate on getting his line right and getting the drag on the straight. He's going to have to get Chapman Curve dead right, but James Folkard did not make a mistake there, and in fact has just slightly increased his gap out front. That was really, really done to perfection through there from James Folkard. This is the man in 3rd, Dan Taylor, still there, and Paul Cunvin, you'll see, there he goes through, just a few seconds behind him. They're not fighting in their own championship, they're fighting in their own championship, so it doesn't matter too much if he was to close on Dan. They're leading their classes respectively. Now then, time is running out for Sam Wilford, and the only place realistically he can get a job done is down into Murray's, and there's a bit of traffic up ahead. Around Coram Curve we go, and this is going to be pretty close. No, Sam's not close enough. He's not close enough to make the move. It'll be a drag to the line. The traffic hasn't affected them in any way. James Folkard, it is that goes past Bob Docker, puts a lap on him. The checker flag is out and he extends his championship lead. But Sam Wilford did do a decent job there to close them down. Just wasn't quite close enough to make a move on James in the end. Brad Peary went out earlier, so no points for him. It is Folkard with a win then from Wilford. Dan Taylor 3rd overall, wins the Stock Twins. Paul Cunvin 4th overall, wins the Street Fighters. Greg Madero 5th, that's 2nd in the Stock Twins. And Mick Riddle 2nd in the Street Fighters, 6th overall. There you see the Super Twins, top 3, Folkard, Wilford and Robert Mack. In the Stock Twins, Dan Taylor the winner from Greg Madero and Aaron Bradley, and in the Street Fighters it's Paul Cunvin with the win again ahead of Mick Riddle and Rob Pragnell. So What do the points look like going into Cadwell next month? Very healthy lead indeed there for James Folkard, ahead of Dan Taylor. Wilford in third still, ahead of Charlie Oakland. Brad Peary fifth. Of course, no points picked up today. Greg Madero sixth. Stock Twins Taylor with a 95-point lead ahead of Charlie Oakland. Then it's Madero, Schofield, Aaron Bradley and Max Dixon. Street Fighters, Paul Cunvin has a 50-point lead over Mick Riddle. Rob Pragnell's third ahead of Andrew Castle, Adrian Teasdale and Leigh Hutchinson. Right, coming up next then, it's time for race 2 of the Aprilia Super Teams. Join us for that. Welcome back to the final part of GP Racing Dream, and now time for race 2 for the Aprilia Super Teams. Can TJ Toms here on the SMW Racing Aprilia go out with a bang and win his final race in the class? Max Cook there, currently looking at second in the championship, number 30. Will he be on the top step, or can Charlie Atkins make it? Well, Charlie's actually lucky to make it onto the grid. It was looking pretty bad for him in between races. It looked like the bike had gone pop. They've actually borrowed another engine from somebody else in the paddock just to get him out onto the grid. So he is there, number 56. Look out also for Freddie Crane, who led the championship before the start of the weekend, but might not after. Into turn 1 we go. It's number 56 then. And whatever has happened there, the bike looks okay for now. He's got the whole shot into turn 1 ahead of TJ Toms. Then it's Max Cook in third place. A good start there for Jack Scott once more from the second row, but it will be Atkins with the advantage from Toms. Then 30 Cook up the inside there for number 55 Jack Scott. Freddie Crane also there in around about 6th or 7th place. Number 78 is Matt Bauer. Connor Thompson, number 9, also there, and number 99 Christopher Moffat. So we come to the end of the Bentley Straight, and it's Charlie Atkins that has this advantage there. Number 56 up ahead of TJ Toms. Max Cook there thought about a look up the inside, but didn't quite manage it. Then a bit of a gap back to 4th place Jack Scott. Freddie Crane there, also number 46 Harry Phillips in 6th place. There's Matt Bauer once again. A better start this time also for Max Lofthouse and Rhys Irwin. Round the bomb hole. A number of orange vests, of course, in this class for all of these rookies, and one of them leading at the moment, number 56, the tiny Charlie Atkins, who really is climbing the championship standings. This develop a 4th place onwards. Number 55 Jack Scott ahead of Freddie Crane, but it's Atkins, Toms and Cook, then Scott, then Freddie Crane, then number 46 Harry Phillips and 99 Chris Moffat. That's your top 7 across the line. TJ Toms then in 2nd place, who won the race earlier on. Max Cook in 3rd, all trying to chase down 56 Atkins. He was practically in tears about 30 minutes before the start of this race because he wasn't going to be able to go out, but they've been working overtime to get this bike ready, and look at this. He's flying at the moment. There's Matt Bauer, number 78, up ahead of Max Lofthouse. Number 9, Connor Thompson, just struggling a little bit in this race compared to, I must have made a mistake somewhere out on circuit, not where we're used to seeing him. There's TJ Toms and Max Cook then, 2nd and 3rd, behind number 56. They're struggling to keep up with him at the moment. He's lapping in the low 131s, and a moment ago popped in a late 1 minute 30. And that's the best time we've seen so far of the day, whereas TJ Toms and Max Cook in 2nd and 3rd are lapping in the mid to late 131s. So if Charlie Atkins can keep this up, he might just be able to gap himself from the rest, and you can see it's already happening across the line. 56 Atkins from Toms, then Max Cook, the KJD racing rider. Cook just needs a solid day at the office here for a big bunch of points that will help him out in the championship. Charlie Atkins wasn't at the opening round of the championship in Brands Hatch, so he's got a bit of catching to do, I suppose, overall in the championship. So a win here wouldn't go amiss. 4th place, the battle still continuing between Jack Scott and Freddie Crane. Here is number 98. That is Brian Moffat, and then Matt Bauer. Number 78, the rider from Sheffield on the MD Racing Aprilia. Then number 9, Connor Thompson from Hawley on the CRT Racing Aprilia. Well, they're all so far staying in the same place. Max Cook in 3rd place is kind of maintaining that gap to TJ Toms, but not able to claw anything into it. He's not been able to make a move on TJ just yet, although that might be a chance because TJ was wide down into Murray's, and now Max Cook might see an opportunity on the start-finish straight. These guys are losing time on Atkins, who goes across the line, and it's a 1:30.9 for Atkins and a 1:31.5 for TJ Toms. So another couple of tenths made up there. Toms is still in 2nd place though, rider there with the yellow wheels in his final race in the Super Teens. Max Cook on the KJD Racing Aprilia for now staying in 3rd place. This is your race leader, Atkins. He's so small on the grid that when he's got his foot down on the floor, his other foot is pretty much on the seat of the motorcycle. That is how tiny he is. And I remember a few riders way back when the series first started. If you remember, the late great Craig Jones was in a very similar position back in about 1999. He was pint size when he first started his Aprilia career. Ooh, slightly wide there from Charlie Atkins, number 56, but he's still in control of this 2nd Aprilia Super Teen race. Going around the bomb hole there, slightly wide through there as well, but so far so good. TJ Toms still in 2nd with Max Cook shadowing his every move in 3rd place. Then we pan back to 4th and 5th. There's Jack Scott and Freddie Crane. Freddie will be hoping that he gets any of these bike troubles out of the way, ready for Cadwell Park, our next round. It's a bit wide there from Charlie Atkins, and sounds like a missed gear as well on the start-finish straight. So maybe an opportunity here for TJ Toms and Max Cook in 2nd and 3rd. There's Charlie Atkins' dad giving him a sort of fist-pump encouragement on the pit lane. He's still so far in charge overall in this race, and the borrowed engine is working a treat. This is the battle for 4th. Still Jack Scott, number 55 from Luton, up ahead. Oh, he was, but he's not anymore. Ramsey, Isle of Man is where Freddie Crane hails from on the Jugger Racing Aprilia, and he's managed to find his way through now to 4th. There is 24. Max Lofthouse currently in 8th place. The rookie, Max, who comes from Burnley, but still 56 Atkins managing to hold out this 1.8 second gap at the front ahead of TJ Toms, who's a bit wide there, although he has broken away a bit there from Max Cook in 3rd. This is Scott and Crane who continue to fight it out. Now Jack Scott's got himself back ahead of Freddie Crane again, and it's 56 Charlie Atkins who will start this final lap of the race here at Snetterton, and that's around about a 2 and a bit second lead now for him. And Tom's there in 2nd place, looks comfortable. Max Cook not been able to do anything about these two out front, so it looks like he's going to have to settle for 3rd place. And that battle for 4th will no doubt continue between Jack Scott and Freddie Crane. So into Montreal for Charlie Atkins, neatly done, nice line through there. Change direction of the bike onto the back straight. He can barely reach the handlebars on this Aprilia 125 production motorcycle. He's riding it like he stole it, and he is flying out front at the moment, clearing off into the distance. This is 24. We mentioned him a moment ago, Max Lofthouse. He's currently behind Harry Phillips and Chris Moffat. He's just in 8th place. Jack Scott and Freddie Crane, we mentioned, and we already know, in 4th and 5th respectively. This is Atkins then. Not long to go. Around the bomb hole. Through there, nicely does it. Just literally rolled off the throttle slightly, and TJ Toms has actually closed the gap down a bit on this final lap, but it's not enough. I don't think he's going to be able to catch up to Charlie now. Max Cook has been dropped and is definitely settling for 3rd overall. On to the start-finish straight we go though. The checkered flag has been made ready, and despite the borrowed machinery, Charlie Atkins says thank you very much. 25 points. That's a win in both the main class and the Nitro newcomers as well. 2nd overall for number 7 TJ Toms. It'll be close in the championship when we see the point standings in a moment, and it is Max Cook that finishes in 3rd and is 2nd of the newcomers. Freddie Crane, a good solid 4th there for him under the circumstances, ahead of Jack Scott, and it's Harry Phillips that finishes in 6th. Top 3 overall then, Atkins the winner from Toms and Cook, and the Nitro newcomers top 3 is Atkins from Cook and Jack Scott. Let's see the championship standings then before we have a word with them. TJ Toms it is with a 10-point lead ahead of Max Cook, who's level on points with Charlie Atkins. Freddie Crane 4th, Jack Scott 5th, Connor Thompson in 6th. In the Nitro newcomers, it's Cook 5 points ahead of Charlie Atkins, Jack Scott in 3rd, Connor Thompson 4th, Rhys Irwin 5th, and Harry Phillips in 6th.
3rd place in the Nitro newcomers. Jack, you look very happy with that. A good way to end the day.
Yeah, it's a good way to end the day. It was a great battle with Freddie and that. Yeah, it was good.
Have you got anyone to thank at all?
Yeah, Mum, Dad, Tool Centre for all the help, Nick and Sophie, Rick for helping us, and everyone else, and Aprilia, Dunlop and Fun Sport.
Max, been a good weekend for you. You've picked up some valuable points.
Yeah, I guess it was a good race and it should be a good rest of the season, but this time I've actually been able to pick up a few points and finish all of the races this time, so it's been a good weekend.
TJ, it's your farewell race from the Aprilia Super Teams and from this paddock for now anyway, and it's been a great time. Unfortunately, you couldn't quite get the win, but I'm sure you're happy to be on the podium nonetheless.
Yeah, that's what we wanted. We're just ending it on a high. Had some great battles at the start with Charlie, and then he sort of left me. But yeah, it was a good race. The wind's picking up a bit, but it was really good and fun. So yeah, thank you. I'd like to thank my mum and dad, Nan and Grandad, Sean Wynn from SMW, Johnson's Metals, Skills Direct, K&B Motors, Steve Windsor, SRC, Swindon Karting, YMCA, and anybody else that's helped me in the season, and Aprilia Dunlop Thundersport.
Very best of luck to you, TJ. And now we move on to race winner Charlie Atkins. Charlie, you came into a paddock office about half an hour before your race. It didn't look like you were going to get out at all. You looked down in the dumps and look at you on the top step.
Yeah, we was worrying if we was going to get out or not. I was about to get changed and we just got all our stuff ready, and then the red flag, and so we got the tyre warmers on and we was all ready to go, but it was a new engine from Thomas and his dad Neil Burnett, so a big thanks to them, and we've gone out and it's done well.
That's it from us here at Snetterton. Join us again next month for more racing action. We'll be at Cadwell Park in Lincoln. See you then.